So, hey, Craig, man, it's been a long time. So excited to have you on the InnSync Show. Welcome. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Cory. Yeah, it's an honor to join you. I'm a
Oh,
huge fan,
oh,
and so
wow.
hopefully
Likewise.
hopefully I do it justice. Thank you
Oh,
for the invite.
no, man. Hey, I told you I wanted to make sure I worked out the kinks in this little show before I had you on. So, I appreciate you coming on the InnSync Show. Could you do a quick intro? Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Sure. Craig Carbonniere. I work full time for Milestone Inc.
Never heard of them.
Uh, we, we provide digital marketing software and services. We have a huge, we're fortunate enough to have a huge portfolio of clients in the hospitality industry. I work out of my home in Southern California and support our clients up and down the coast and as far over as they let me.
Yeah.
But I've worked in the hospitality industry for roughly, oh my goodness, now I'm aging myself. I'm coming up on 20 years.
Wow.
And so prior to joining Milestone, I managed hotels throughout Southern California and had the fortune of staying within the industry now and partnering with a variety of hotels.
Fantastic. Well, hey, as I mentioned before, I had great topic I want to talk to you about. I can't think of anybody better to help us uncover a really cool new Google rollout here. And it's the helpful content update. So what is that, and what does that mean for hotel marketers, by the way?
Sure. So, why I love this topic, Cory, and why we're talking about it today. This being helpful is in our DNA as hoteliers, as hospitality workers. And funny enough, it doesn't stray far from that. So Google came out and said, we're going to reward those marketers who are, delivering content that, solves a problem, that is written by humans, that at its core is helpful. So I'll kind of, unpack that a little bit more, but that's it at its core. I don't know about you, but I mean, that excites me as a marketer, right? That's my job. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice. Fantastic. So what makes this so exciting, by the way? I can see you're lighting up, I can see just spark in your eye. So tell us which makes this so incredibly amazing.
Sure. So, I mean, I think for most of us, right, producing content is what we live for, right? And so this update will reward content that's deemed helpful, that's provided by humans, that has a need, and will allow for us to be that much more effective in the endless amount of time we spend in producing content, right? Google came out and said, we prefer this way of producing content. We're going to reward those who are following this guideline. And, we don't want to see anyone struggling, but, will negatively impact those who aren't. So, so I guess it's an opportunity for us to really shine as marketers.
Yeah, speaking of content, I know that word kind of gets thrown around a lot,
Sure.
and especially in hospitality, sometimes we talk about content marketing, and I can see that dazed look in a lot of people's eyes.
Sure.
What is that? How would you describe just that simple word of what does content mean, and to hoteliers, by the way?
You're right. It has a ton of different meanings. Relevant to this update from Google, this is primarily referring to website content. So any text that's visible on your website, anything that you're producing for, that you're writing on your, hotelsname.com. That's really what we're referring to. Now, obviously, content marketing has a variety of meanings, but this is what we're referring to in this update.
Gotcha. Great. So the big why it always comes up to when I ask. Question I had, what's the best way that we could leverage or capitalize on this update right now?
I was talking to a coworker of mine who heads our SEO team. And the best translation I can do this, I could do for the hospitality industry, right? If a guest approached me and said, "Excuse me, where's the ice machine?" If I were to respond to them and say, "Hey, it's up there," right? That wouldn't be seen as being very helpful. Quite frankly, it would probably get you a 1-star review on TripAdvisor, right? The same thing is really at the core of the helpful content update, right? We're asked to solve a specific problem our guests have, right? And to elaborate as to why we think it's an opportunity and why we think this information is valuable.
Fantastic. So what are some examples? Obviously, you guys at Milestone, you guys are always leading the way, blazing the path, new insights, trends. What are some things how you guys are leveraging this right now at Milestone?
Sure. So, I think, whether you work with Milestone or not, right? A couple of opportunities that really scream to me for hotels, right? One is FAQs, frequently asked questions, right? Your front desk, your reservations, your PBX, your concierge gets questions on seemingly every minute. Right. And so when we think offline, translating then to online, are we answering those on our websites? Right? Are we providing them with the most helpful of responses? Right? That's one opportunity that we're leveraging for our clients. The second one is, as we come out of the pandemic, there's so much more happening in our markets in terms of events, right? Whether it be sports, concerts, festivals, conventions, right? All of those things have their own set of questions, right? And so it's important not only that we highlight all those things that are happening near our hotels, but that we're providing, really robust content around some of those events so we can be part of a larger discussion, right? I can guarantee you, if you're not answering a question about your hotel, someone else is, be it, whether it's a third party or even competitor. Right? If you're not highlighting the fact that you're near these different events, someone else is, right? So a great example of that, I'd worked with a client near and dear to both of our hearts in La Jolla, La Valencia, the Pink Lady, right? So check out that website. It's great, really inspiring. The team there at the property did a remarkable job. But what you'll notice, you'll see how we've partnered and implemented FAQs throughout the website. You'll see their event calendar. I don't know if every hotel has this opportunity, but it's front and center, right? It's above the fold at the top of the website, really, speaking to all the great events that they have on property, but also some that are happening within the market. Right. And so those are some great examples. I think most hotels have a similar opportunity. I'd say, some still have an opportunity to embrace that, but those are just some examples off the top of my head.
Yeah, just to get back on your FAQs, I want to underscore the importance of that. In fact, getting back to even some of our clients, we've been spending a lot more time and effort building out exactly what you just described. We're finding that with some of our clients, it's one of the top 5 visited pages. And it's opened up opportunities to be ranked on feature snippets, and not somebody that's with a huge depth of search. But what an awesome opportunity that you just described from a searchability standpoint. It's amazing how much more that you can build out your site to become that trusted resource. I think we oftentimes look at the hotel website as maybe an online brochure, where it can be so much more than that. And that's where I'm looking forward to exploring, the evolution of what a hotel website could be. And it sounds like you guys are already taking that next step in creating this resource of answering questions that like you mentioned, are outside the four walls of the hotel. It might be in La Jolla, because there's so much to do. There's a lot of competition there, but the more opportunities that you can do to add to the Pink Ladies site, that makes that as the hub of a traveler's, center. They may be spending their night there, but they're going to be venturing out each day. The more that you can do to inform your guests, and let's not forget events and meeting side as well. That's kind of where we're playing more in that space, is really beefing up the events and meeting side. So all around becoming that resource. So I love that.
And when you think about it, you hit the nail on the head, Cory, is, if we step back and we look at, the most impactful channels at our hotel, and every hotel's different, right? I'm not suggesting this is a blanket statement, but we did some research at Milestone. We saw roughly 70% of all leads, all bookings on a hotel's website is coming from organic search, right? SEO, local search, right? And so that puts things into perspective, right? Where are we embracing this opportunity? And this is just another reminder from Google that says, hey, we've never changed our stance, right? Our goal is to provide a good experience that keeps users coming back, right? If I think about a hotel, that's everything that we do,
right?
Provide a good experience to keep guests coming back.
Wonderful.
Right. The same thing applies to Google. And I think this is just, doubling down on that, where they're saying, hey, you produce high quality content, we're going to reward you for it. Right. So, I think, and the whole idea of becoming that trusted resource,
yes,
right, is so important. Right. A lot of those questions aren't going to include your hotel's name, right? And I don't know about you, but I would love to rank for unbranded search terms, as do most hotels, right? And so, I think, and I won't get ahead of ourselves, but that was one of kind of my ideas, to kind of take this to the next level, and maybe, a kind of a secret sauce idea.
I love that, because like you had mentioned, branded, unbranded keywords. So for instance, even, the Pink Lady is right there in La Jolla Cove. So answering a question that has to do with a view overlooking the cliffs there at La Jolla Cove to the gorgeous surf, those types of niche specific keywords that wouldn't necessarily be thought of in terms of the hotel, be able to rank for a term for somebody that really doesn't, there's obviously a correlation there, but you have so much more opportunity, like you had mentioned, to be able to drive traffic back to the hotel website that may have not even thought about it from those standpoints. So it's almost a virtual version of a concierge. walking up to that concierge person and ask them, hey, I'm coming to La Jolla, going to La Jolla Cove. Where's the best place I can watch this surf? Having their website do that for you, Rob. I mean, it's the same thing of having a concierge giving you that explanation at the front desk. Right?
The best, you know, and I'm fortunate enough to, you know, work with a variety of hotels. But the best, advisory, the best consulting I've given is when, you know, we just step back. Let's take our hotel glasses off and figure, you know, I'm a guest. Why would I come to this destination? What am I going to experience? What am I going to enjoy? You know, I've seen a lot out there around promoting experiences, right? And to highlight the fact that we're more than just a guest room. I couldn't agree more. But the reality is, how do I actually, how do I do that, right? How do I do that within my marketing, right? An idea, and again, as I was kind of creating kind of a plan for today's podcast, I was thinking about, you know, what are different ideas, right, to address this opportunity about selling experiences with hotels. And, you know, in other industries, they're really looking at creating these how-tos, right? How to experience La Jolla tide pools, how to get to children's pool, right, in La Jolla.
Absolutely.
Right? If I'm traveling with my family, those are questions I'm asking Google, and whoever provides the right answer, I'm using that as a resource.
Absolutely.
I know that, hey, I'm going to need to stay in a hotel. And if a hotel's answering that question, or if they're providing me with accurate information, helpful content, heck, I'm gonna explore, right? I'm gonna check them out and figure out if this is the right option for my family. So, you know, that was, I think that's a massive untapped opportunity for us to really step back and say, you know, put ourselves in you know, our guest shoes, right? And understand, why am I coming to the destination and what am I going to experience?
Absolutely. Now check this out. Even expanding on that even further. Imagine the prestige and credibility the Pink Lady already has in the marketplace, right? And I know we're going all in on the La Valencia here because we both love it. Obviously I've been here in San Diego. It's very, very an iconic property here. But not only are you giving the answer to somebody's question, but it's coming from a place of credibility, right? How long has that hotel been there?
You know, they just celebrate, I believe, their 95th anniversary.
Oh my God. And imagine how golden their advice is over some just random travel site that's out there. That is, you add the trust factor in there, right? Because it's coming from a place that's a voice that's been around since 100 years. That's taking that to a whole different level, because it's almost unchallenged at that point, right?
Sure. Well, and you know, I think it goes back to, you know, the comment I made earlier, right? Staff, regardless of their position, are consistently getting questions from their guests.
Yep.
Right. And, you know, they're doing a phenomenal job in delivering a great service, right, to their guests. You know, what portion of that can you capitalize on? Could you leverage for your own marketing, right? Can you do it, you know, on your website? Can you do it through social media? Can you do it in advertising, right? And I don't know. I just think, you know, there's endless opportunity to really blur the lines finally between offline and online, and start fulfilling a need that exists with both, right? I think you're just going to come out being, a rock star and blow your numbers, out of the water for 2023.
Yeah, I just read about a really interesting tip, and maybe this might correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not exactly all that familiar with the helpful content update. But somebody said, go to TripAdvisor, check out your top 3 competitors, look at their worst reviews, right? Address those questions in some of your FAQs.
Love it. Love it.
So you're kind of picking a scab and really helping emphasize, because if they as they know, they read the reviews, don't like what they see, they're coming to your site, and then you're immediately addressing those with. So I thought that was a very simple but interesting kind of hack on that.
Absolutely, that's a great tip, Cory. And I think in your, you shared before in sort of the sales, for the sales team as being, a resource for them. Brides, grooms are asking them, a lot about the property, right? A great opportunity to not only address that, but to maybe expand upon it, right? So answer the question and then create a how to plan for a wedding in Southern California. What is there to do, nearby in La Jolla? And just, there's endless potential for hotels to capitalize on this update. Again, it's in our DNA, right? We're a helpful industry, right? There's no reason why we couldn't benefit from this.
I love that. Now, is this primarily written content, or is there a video element to this?
I think so. Generally, this is a written element. However, right, as we've seen with this client and others, just kind of the embracing kind of really rich media, because there's no better way to highlight an experience than to show it, right? And Absolutely. So investing in photography, investing in videography, investing in some of that media will only help your effort to describe an experience a guest could have at your property.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. It's especially I'm a little partial to the visual element as a former art director. That's kind of it's hard to get that out of my thought process. So that's I couldn't agree with you more. Man, some really great stuff. Wanted to ask you, can you give me some secret sauce? Doesn't necessarily relate to our today's topic, but would love to hear what's on your mind.
Sure. So I this has been kind of stuck on my head, right? It's because, in my previous in managing hotels, now stepping out and working with hotels, right? The idea of really, adding to our skill set, right? As hotel managers, as director of sales, as director of sales and marketing, right? There's so much to learn in this area. Don't just assume because, that's someone else's responsibility, or, I'm sure, that's something someone else on the team is equipped to address, right? The hotel's performance is everyone's responsibility, right? And to really understand how to improve a hotel's performance is the name of the game, right? Absolutely. And so, I just spoke with a hotel team today. In the room, general manager, director of sales, marketing director, revenue management, the whole idea of commercial strategy. The only way that's going to become a reality is if we stop saying it's someone else's job and start embracing the fact that all of these different strategies, all of these different tactics work as one to drive that bottom line. And this is just another opportunity. So if you see the headline from Milestone or from Lure or from anyone else, take it to heart, right? Read up on some of these things that are happening in the industry. Follow thought leaders like Cory, because the reality is, right, if this isn't a area you would excel in, right, you're going to want to learn as much as you can to really take your skill set to the next level.
Yeah, I love that. No, absolutely. So it's more of that. I think you and I both agree. Seeing these needless siloed areas in this industry, which kind of as you started this conversation with, the nature of hospitality, being hospitable and helping each other and being that trusted resource. Why do we still think of ourselves in these cubicles? And it's someone else's job, or and that's been kind of one of the things that I've enjoyed working with other industries, is looking how software sales and other people in other industries, they don't have these divisions like this. So the concept 100%. Of commercial strategy, I really didn't even know what that really was. It's like, well, so sales and marketing aren't working together? What? So there has to be a term to break. So
sure. Okay. As I've said before, I think reminders are good for us. And if anything, and I see some great work from all sorts of, brands and hotels and really embracing, this whole idea of, working together towards, the same goal. If we learn that from others, that just makes us stronger. Right. And it just allows us to reach our goals. And I think everyone has an interest in marketing. I love that. This is just a way for us to really, highlight the opportunity that exists to kind of bring us, again, towards one goal.
I love that.
Revenue.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Team effort for sure. Hey man, I could sit here and talk with you for days about this, but I want to save some time for our next combo. Hey, I really appreciate Craig coming on for a few minutes to chat about this. Man, you brought some great insights, as I knew you would. Thank you.
My pleasure. Can't wait till the next time we're able to do it.
Man, have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Cory.